It's a heckin' Funsie
Sick.
podcast. I don't give a flippin' crud. Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, to start it off, um, I just wanted to thank everyone that checked out last week's episode because I think we
Thank you.
had more views in the first day on that episode than we did from the week before episode over the course of a week. So that was really cool that people went to go check that out.
Huge.
And yeah, Jesse draws the crowd, man.
Dude,
Jesse's a stud.
he's a
Yeah,
legend. Jesse's an absolute legend. Like,
completely. Yeah, cool
good
to see
guy.
all the ET2 reviews and stuff going on out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good stuff. Uh, yeah,
Wait,
before we get into it,
our Flight Numbers a Scam has more plays on our Spotify, Apple side. Wow. Jesse, you got to promote it on the Apple, Spotify side if you
I
want to
gotta
beat
bump
that
up those
one.
numbers some. Yeah, all three of us, we were well-traveled boys this past
Yes.
weekend, pretty much. Um, so I think we're still somewhat recovering, but we're here and we're doing the dang thing
Always.
uh,
Every Monday.
every Monday. And dude, what do we get into first? Intro, updates. Like
Yeah,
what you guys,
I think
what do we actually end up doing?
yeah, let's get into that. What'd you guys do? I want to hear both of you. I feel like I'll just start with mine. I went to a uh tournament in Greenfield, Westy Acres. I shot like 970 and then 920, and I learned that me putting slower and softer helps me a lot, and I also learned that I get in my head in putting too. So, first round I putted well
But you
because
learned that?
yeah, I'm just saying first round I just putted well because I wasn't thinking. I was just trying to putt soft, and I hit a lot of like good putts even from like 40, 45 feet, and then I practiced that night, and something was wrong, so I was like trying to fix it. It just felt wrong, like my timing for putting. And then I got so in my head, so the next day I just didn't think about putting it slow, and it showed, and I missed like 5 to 6, like 25 footers, which stunk. But it's a good lesson. After the tournament round, I stuck around and putt and started putting slow again. I'm like, okay, this is like the answer. I just gotta kind of loft it in like in basketball, like how it's just like. But yeah, that's all I did. I just played a tournament, and I played well first round. Not so great second, but hey, that's what it is. But more importantly, you guys have way better stories than I. So go ahead.
Hey, let's not minimize that because you got to play Westy Acres, which is awesome. I mean, you're nearly in Vermont at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Living Memorial is the closest course. It's only like I don't know, 30 minutes maybe. In
Yeah,
Vermont, in Vermont to Westy.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Uh, Josh, are you prepared to share? Because it sounds like, I mean, I only know minimally about what you did, but it sounds like it potentially was a lot.
Oh, did you? Is that
Yeah.
why you played at Worlds?
Wait, what?
You played Worlds? Is that where you're Michigan?
No, I didn't
Wait,
play Am Worlds.
Oh, because
Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. Because Am Worlds played at Toboggan
No.
too, and Michigan courses too.
No.
Okay,
That's
that's
So
what I
right.
thought.
I went up to Michigan this weekend to see one of my friends who goes to UMich or went to UMich. He's graduated now, so he lives up there. And I hadn't seen him in a little while, and he's getting married in a few months. So we went and visited, but he's a big disc golfer. And obviously, disc golf's big in Michigan. So over the course of the weekend, I played 7 rounds of disc golf. So that's multiple rounds a day, if you don't know. And if you know Michigan disc golf, it was pretty intense. I was thoroughly shocked. My opinion, now that I've played a few different places, is that Michigan rough is the worst rough there is. The first
Yeah,
course that I played was Toboggan. It
just
was
punched
three of
right in the
us.
face.
It was three of us, and we collectively lost about 13 or 14 discs total.
That
So that was
hurts.
huge. And then so I ended up shooting like, well, dude, I was like -1 coming into the final stretch, and then I finished +3. So that was sad. Um, but yeah, we played Toboggan, then played Black Locust, then we played Lake Woods, then we played Red, then we played Rolling Hills, and then I filmed a video where we found before I went, I found an abandoned course that's up there,
Oh
and so we
yeah.
went to an abandoned course, and that was pretty interesting.
Hmm.
So lots of disc golf for me this weekend. It was a lot of fun. Playing on toboggan showed me that I have I have this like I had 4 or 5 birdies at that course, but I also had the bogeys. So it was cool to be like, oh, clean this up a little bit. I could be on the pro tour, or like not like number one, but like low level pro tour player.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just had fun the rest of the weekend. Filmed a video and played a lot of disc golf. Nice hat, Ben.
Thank
Fire.
you.
Yeah. Dude, it's beautiful.
Shout out.
Yeah, and that
Armory.
after doing 7 rounds of disc golf, you get to come back and do a disc golf podcast.
Yeah, dude. I will never be disc golf out. I did I lost that first round. I lost 4 discs, and
Was
we ended
one
up
of them
buying
Jimothy?
new ones.
Yeah, wait,
No,
were they like
no.
were any of them like go-to discs or discs you've had for a long time that really hurt?
None of them were like I lost my cash.
No.
Yeah, but like none of them were like discs I had forever. Where
Yeah,
That one
okay.
should hurt the
necessarily-
most.
Yeah, that one hurt. I lost my Octane, which has recently been like just my go-to disc. I don't know if you guys know what an Octane is, but for some reason I've been
MVP.
loving it. Yeah, so I bought a new Octane and I absolutely mash on that thing. And then, dude, I was just at some random pro shop, and in the used section, like I have a money 2022 or 2023 Halo Halloween Wraith or something like that. And there was
Ooh.
just a mint condition one in the used bin. So I snagged that, and it's fire.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
But lots of disc golf for me this weekend. So not
Yeah.
watching a ton of pro tour stuff, but I saw some cool stuff.
Oh,
did happen.
same deal. Same clips on Instagram. That's about the extent of what I was able to consume. Yeah, mine was not a disc golf weekend, but I was able to stop at some disc golf along the way. So on Thursday, headed up to northern New York to my buddy's getting married, so I had like a bachelor party.
Same thing.
Yeah, they had it up like in New York, but like on the like right alongside Lake Champlain. It was beautiful up there. Takes a solid 5 hours to get up there, and didn't know this because one of my best buddies, he was my best man at my wedding. He lives in Arizona and has for the last like couple of years at this point. So I have not seen him since I got married last September, which is pretty insane to think about. And he all of a sudden, day before, he's like, "Hey, just so you know, baby boy, I'm flying in. Can I come with you?" And I was like, I don't know if I could have heard any better news. So basically, it was just like a road trip. It was just a road trip for us to go up together. And we stopped at Stony Kill, which is like a top 5 course in New York along the way up. You have to stop at like a brewery and stuff like that and just catch up. I mean, I don't think we stopped talking the entire 5+ hours. So it was really special. And then, yeah, celebrating up there. My buddy that's getting married, the only thing he wanted to do is play video games and hang out inside like this house with like his brothers and like all of our friends and stuff. So really low key, good time. Yeah, just got to play like a couple of courses. New York disc golf is pretty dang good. Like every single thing there is like I feel like just about 4 stars and above. So yeah, I had a good time checking some stuff out. And then Saturday morning, I had to wake up at 5 a.m. and drive home because I had to go to a wedding, one of Kiara's friends. So that was a very, very long day. Like didn't go to bed until like 3 a.m. or something like that, like past midnight. But yeah, dude, we made it. Then Kiara and I got to hang out yesterday, go do some ace runs. Yeah, good weekend.
Always a
for
good
sure.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious what course now this is gonna be niche for some of our podcast listeners, and I apologize, but what courses did you play? Like I know Stony Kill, that's a course I enjoy. But what else
let me
did you
hit
play?
that.
Real
Let me
quick.
hit that hot boy U disc. So based on where we were staying, so I think as listeners somewhat know at this point, I'm a morning person, so I wake up early, and that's just how I've been my entire life. Whereas my buddies, they'll stay up late forever and just sleep for a while. They've gotten better, but I ended up waking up at 5 a.m. Friday morning, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go out because I mean, these guys are going to be asleep for how long? Instead, it'd be like me editing just or something like that while I wait for them. So I went out and I just explored a little bit. There was like a little 9-hole course that was like a little bit north of there, and it was only like 3.6 rated. And it's funny, I thought about like me and Josh talking about not playing 9 holes, and it's called Plattsburgh Disc Golf Park. So it's like a Discmania designed sort of course. Dude, it was amazing. It was such a good little course. It's kind of weird. I was just like took a couple discs. I could exactly like there was no one. I looked at like the total people that have kept a UDisc score on there in the last like forever, like all time. It was only like 25 people.
Dang.
Yeah, so it's kind of sad actually.
It is pretty crazy how UDisc essentially runs where people play. Like there are some courses that I haven't even played here in DFW because it's like a 3-2 or 3-6 or whatever. And I'm just like, well, I'll just go to the courses that I know are good. So I haven't even tried out the like horribly rated, you know. And
have you
want to? What's up?
I was gonna say, have you played this course Cedars near you, or heard of it?
Cedar Hill.
It's like something Cedars. Probably not, but yeah. I'm just it was like badly rated, and the bad ratings were warranted. Anyways.
No, yeah, I don't think I've played it, but I was just gonna say like one of the courses we played in Michigan was rated 3-2 or 3-1, and we played it, and I was like, dude, if this was maintained, this is like a 4-6 or 4-7, and I was
absolutely.
like, this, it's crazy, and we didn't see a single person, like, and we were out there for 3 or 4 hours because we were just vibing. But like, it's just so interesting that how much that controls people's opinions about a course space. It's just so stigmatized.
Yeah, I would be curious how scores differ depending on the region that you're from. Like if some people prioritize certain aspects of a course. But I try to think about it like a 3.6. That sounds. I'm like, why would I do that? And then if I think of that as just like a 7.2 out of 10, for some reason, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound so bad. Maybe I should check it out.
Yeah, on a 10-point scale, a 7.6 definitely sounds way better. Or 7.2 sounds way better than a 3.6, which is pretty funny. A 3.6 sounds like, ugh, why would I ever play that? Yeah, completely. I would never play that.
The other one, on my way home, because I woke up so early, I was like, okay, I have an hour that I can kill. So I stopped at a place called Prospect Park. I don't know if you played there before, Ben.
I've played Prospect Park.
That was a good course. Just like little tiny, super, and you play, outside of Troy.
No, it's in Troy because you play. Don't you play like where the Troy sign is? Like one of the holes is.
Oh no, no, I'm sorry. It was the Crandall Park. Crandall Park. Did you play that one?
Oh no, Prospect Park is in Troy, but no, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Sorry, very niche, but this one was amazing because it's all ace runs and it's like a super wooded course. I got to take like a little bit of video that I can use this week when I do like my edits and whatnot. So I'm excited to just go through all those clips and stuff because I had the whole course to myself. I mean, when the sun is coming up and you have a whole course to yourself, like a little ace run course, it's like you found God in that moment. You're just everything comes together. You're like, life just makes sense, man.
You know Are you still posting every day, Sajko?
No, I ended up going every other day for the time being. I had my go-to of doing daily posts. And then, sometimes
was it just like not sustainable?
I think it's sustainable, but you have to make sacrifices in like things that you would always want to do because, life gets in the way and that's just what happens. And I didn't really want to keep making those sacrifices. Like if I have an idea, I want to flesh it out the best that I can.
Like you weren't doing like as high quality as you wanted to.
Yeah, and that's just kind of bound to happen. So it's funny. I feel like my content is. I thought about this last week. It's somewhere between J Millie and Another Round. I feel like is a decent way that I can kind of describe my content.
Yeah, I agree.
That's sort of like what the hybrid has become, and
that is funny.
I don't know. Sometimes I would just put something out because it felt like I should put something out, and that's just not what I want to. That's not what I want to do realistically.
Yeah, that's a tough place I just
Yeah,
noticed that I felt like I was like, oh, I'm not seeing a Sajko post every day. But at the same time, I was like, I completely understand that though, because he's doing another round post every day and other stuff. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not surprised.
Speaking of which, that YouTube video is doing very well. So I'm glad that I'm glad that it's doing so
Oh,
well.
which one? The most recent one?
Yeah, the most recent one. I think their top viewed content is this video with Ricky
The
like
germ.
a year or two ago.
Oh, I thought it was the germ one.
Oh, maybe it is. It could be. I saw one with Ricky that was like 15,000 views, and this one was posted 8 days ago, and it's already at like I think
14.
14.9 or something like that K.
Yeah.
So yeah, really grateful that it's doing well. It makes me feel good knowing that all the time that I put into it was worth
Dang.
it.
It's a 14,000 view video, but the title is "This Gets Wild."
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
know.
who did that? Did you do that?
No, that was so I put in potential previously I have made like a thumbnail just as like an idea or like a placeholder and then would do a title, but then ultimately it's up to Joseph.
So he
So
did that title.
yeah, so he always does the titles and the thumbnails.
Okay,
Um
because I mean, I don't know, not to roast him, but it's a 14,000 view video right now. I think if he had a better title and thumbnail saying exactly what was happening, I see upwards of 20 or 30, maybe even 40. Uh, I don't know. This
Potentially.
Gets Wild is not a great. I don't know. Maybe that's just another round's like what they want to go for is that like more casual, like just chill vibes on the
It is.
channel and like only apply to like a disc golfer. But like if it was titled something about like the stakes of, I guess it's in it's in the thumbnail. But I don't know. My
Right.
opinion is retitle that and you have a bunch more views on it. But
Well, I can
it's
No,
personally.
not
I
I
not my
mean,
channel.
like
potentially.
he like it's. I can vouch because this is literally what I like build my channel on doing. First one to ace gets that, and I went down to another round to do that, and he saw how well I imagine the big germ one did. So he's probably like, "Oh, this is like a sick idea. Let's do it." And I think it's a winning video formula to do like first one the ace gets whatever, even if it's just like like ours was for $500 and his was only for a squatch bag, but people just want to see people, I don't know, trying to ace.
Mhm.
So I that's literally what I pretty much my first big video was obviously getting over Maple Hill, but like my second one was first one to ace gets $250.
Mhm.
So I think that's also part of the reason it's doing well, just because it's a proven
There's stakes. There are
yeah,
stakes
it's
that
a
are
proven
involved.
successful thing because literally that's what I've done like 3 times now. One of them didn't do well, but the other two are my most viewed videos of um first one the ace gets whatever. And yeah.
Yeah, you guys are beefing now. No, that's a joke, internet. That's a joke.
No, I'm not beefing. He literally called me after and told me like it's not like I didn't like invent do this to that
I know.
to do that and
It's a copyrighted idea.
it's a great.
Right.
I'm just saying it's a great idea because he was talking about when we were down in Charlotte when I did it. He was like, oh, like maybe we could do this in like different places. It'd be awesome. So I'm glad he's actually doing it, being the ace guy himself. So I think it's a good idea, and content is content. It's not like he's stealing my idea because it's just like it's a regular idea. I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know
No,
how else
that
to
makes
say
sense.
it. It's just so here's the thing. I even thought I was the first one to ever do that. Like first one the ace gets whatever. I thought I was the first one. I'm like, dude, this is so smart. And then I saw like 6 months after I posted my first one to ace videos that this like company or whatever, like one of the did a first one to ace only with pros though, I'm pretty sure did a first one to ace, and I was like, oh, like I thought I was so it's kind of like it's an idea that's there for disc golf, if that makes sense, where I thought I was the
Mm.
first one, but then this company did it like 2 months before I post my first one that I never even saw, and it's just like kind of
A-
it's like a what.
Was
Is
it Ace Run Productions?
it might be actually. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I
It was
don't.
Simon and Casey and Matt Oram.
Probably, yeah. Or maybe I don't. I think maybe Ezra was Robinson was a part of it. I don't really remember, but
This is
it's
a
just
Funsie fact.
it's an idea that's just like
Patented.
there for the taking that everyone can probably have. Because it's just like, you know, it's just disc golf. It's just like an
it's a
easy
very
idea.
simple idea.
Yeah.
Like anyone, it's like low hanging fruit. Anyone can
Mhm.
think of it and do it. I mean, it's not super hard to exit, or it's not super easy to execute. But yeah, it's not like a super novel concept that no one can think of. So I
Yeah,
understand what.
exactly. Like two people, like Ace Run Pro and me, just thought of it on their own without even knowing. But yeah, I feel like if what Joseph just said, first one the ace in the title gets, instead he put it on the thumbnail, which I guess it gets the point across too. But um, I don't know. It's doing well. There's no like.
Yeah, it's all a learning process. I think he's been told to keep the titles more concise by someone that is of noteworthy value.
Jay Millie,
So I think that was him trying to
agent.
do that with that one. And yeah, he
Yeah,
was also told.
I was just gonna say you definitely want to keep the titles concise, but "This Gets Wild" is the
It's
most
vague. Yeah.
ambiguous title I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm glad it's doing well. I do enjoy the comments on videos like that. Just people going full alpha mode, being like, "Yo, these kids suck. Like, I could get that 15 throws." And it's like, "Oh, perfect. Well, actually, we're gonna have one in your area. You should come out and show us what's up." Like, it's
It's
so
so
easy.
funny. Yeah.
Everyone
What were
has
you gonna
all
say?
the answers for other people's. Like, if you have a problem, the entire internet, every other person on there has the answer for you.
Yeah.
And that is the best way to sum up the internet.
100%. Every time I watch those videos, I have such a confidence that I would be able to do it, but in actuality, I know that I would fall short.
Yeah. Did you guys end up watching the video actually? No, I mean if you didn't, it's okay. I'm not
Yeah,
trying to.
I did
I
watch. I did watch some of it.
Did you enjoy it? You can lie to me.
Yeah, I think if he were to do it again, this because I've literally done these videos and they've been successful. So I'm just speaking from
Yeah.
my own experience. I think he'd have to have a different camera facing the crowd that you can cut to show like
That's a
reaction.
good. That's a good idea.
I feel like that's a
big
huge
part
part
of
of it, and
That was him on vacation though, so I think he was kind of limited.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if I knew, like, it inspired me because if I knew that I could make these videos and just give away a bag and not no longer give away $500 and save my bank account, like, I'd be I'd be doing it way more. Like, I didn't realize like they'd still do that well with just. I thought it was like the $500 was the selling point, but I guess people just want. It doesn't even matter. People just want to see people ace. So I think that was a cool, I guess,
Well,
experiment answer for me.
a Squatch bag is $300, so
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
small change. But
I
yeah,
I guess I'm thinking
yeah.
from the business perspective, like either Joseph probably got it for free or wholesale. I'm just saying like things like that. Like I have like a shift bag that I've just had laying around. But I'm just saying like I always thought like the stakes had to be so high for people to
it helps.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I watched Sajko. I think your edits made it 10 times better.
There was a comment that said,
cool.
"Give the editor a raise."
I
To be
saw that.
completely
I saw that
honest,
comment. No, please be honest.
I was gonna say I've watched those videos before, which they aren't only from Ben, but I don't usually make it past 3 or 4 minutes because it's
That's
just
the
the same
average.
hole over and over. But I watched the whole video because it was more fun and more enticing, and it's not just the same thing like back to back to back. My
Cool.
opinion though is that Yeah, like a crowd camera would be really good. A mid interview, like just something to switch up the pace, so it's
True.
not just throw after throw after
Yeah, that's
throw.
what I
Like,
got from it.
That's what I was
yeah,
nervous about because that's what I was, that's what I worked with, and I was like, how can I make this feel broken up? And that's why at first I showed every single person's throw that was doing it, unless it was just egregious, just and then it was like speed it up a little bit, maybe only show like the best ones, and then show that these people threw, but it just kind of was like implied that time was like moving quickly, where it's just like boom, 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 and then it's like, oh, here's the highlight.
yeah, no,
Yeah, because don't
yeah,
don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not YouTube boy. This is my realistically, this is my. I didn't have full creative freedom with the first one that I did for another round. That was more so he edited a video and then he sent it to me and he's like, see what you can do with this. So this is, I'll call it, I guess, like my first, or rather my second, from start to finish, like whatever I want to do, deal. And I'm came out anyways.
yeah. I mean, not even yours though, because you didn't choose the idea or film it or like
Well, yeah,
be
yeah,
involved in the actual production of the video. You were only in post production, which,
right.
in my opinion, is the hardest thing about a video because that's where all the creativity comes from.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
props to you. Good job. It made he set up his camera, set the stage, had fun people, and then sent it to you. I think you did a great job with that. I definitely
thanks.
think there could be more involved uh, during the actual production to switch up the pace.
Hmm.
But I think you did a pretty good job switching up the pace with a singular camera shot the entire time.
I
That's
know,
near
man.
impossible to make
Yeah, that
interesting.
that's
In my
that
I know.
exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like I was just like, yeah, it's just people. Yeah, you can get more. I even like showing the shanks. Like that's kind of like my specialty, showing like the funny
Oh, I
shots.
did, and I tried to make them funny, but I also wasn't trying to roast the people at the same time.
Mm,
It was like it's like teeters the line a little bit, and yeah, I remember when Joseph had called me when he watched it and he was laughing a lot and he said how much he enjoyed it. So yeah. Anyways, not
All I
trying
got
to
from that is Jay Millie
gas
only
myself
got
up.
4 minutes into my videos of ace runs and left. So that's kind of makes me sad.
maybe
So
less. Maybe less. Who knows?
Well, that's what's been cool because I can see the average of other stuff that is on their channel, and like the retention time was double, and then it's just like, just yeah, it just makes me feel good because at first you put something out and you're like, I have no idea. I hope it's good because I'm sure I think I've said this before. You do something for so long, you're like, is this even good anymore?
yeah,
You
it's
don't
a
really
win.
have fresh eyes and
It's
ears.
a winning idea. It's just like one of those things where it's just like a winning idea for disc golf YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
Y-
Do
I
you go ahead?
I was just gonna say to echo the sentiment. I know for me, and I know for other YouTubers, when you're so entrenched in the edit, at a certain point, you're like, I'm just going to post this. Like, this is a horrible video.
Yeah,
And one of my best performing videos, I was like, okay, I'm just so done with this. Like, I've spent so long making this video and I hate it. I'm just going to post it. And now it has a ton of views and it's done really well. And I like it a lot now, but like in the moment, it's just like, ugh,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna post this. This sucks.
hmm.
That might be maybe how you felt a little bit.
Dude, I feel that way about reels right now. I have that as a note and for this episode as well. But like the one that I did for like Jay Millie's shirt when I got it in. Let's be clear. Okay, Jay Millie, we're on a show together. I want to support him. The shirt is absolute gas, kids. Okay,
Let's
it's really nice.
go.
I'm not just trying to say that because you will get a lot of people like I said before. I've come from the hardcore side, so everyone's trying to make merch, put out merch, stuff like that. You know how many crappy Gildan tees I bought in my life just because it has like a friend's band on it and you want to support? This is not one of those. Okay.
yeah.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Comfort
do you know?
colors
Did
is
they
nice.
sell out yet, Josh?
I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. I haven't really been monitoring it.
I I think they might be running low anyways because I had added it to my Instagram cart or whatever, but I didn't end up like cashing out there, and I got a notification being like stock is low, and I was like,
Oh,
oh, okay,
interesting.
this man rolls like that. Come on now. But my point
Well,
was, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we didn't run a ton of them initially because we didn't know how much interest they would
Yeah, yeah,
get.
yeah.
So we
Anyways,
didn't want to be early.
my point, I got in the shirt, and I wanted to test to see if it does help you ace better because like the story that you had put up, and that took like it didn't take a long time, but it took obviously more effort to edit, and I think
Mhm.
first half hour it had like 10 views or something like that, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No.
I've been dealing with
No, that
that.
happened. I think that was a glitch though that day. If we post on the same day, I posted like my trash
No,
panda one.
it's
Oh,
been
it's
going on
different.
for the last like two-ish weeks.
That's so
It's just
weird.
hard to predict because it's not only happening to me, it's also happening to another round where I'll be like, huh, like I would go to check to see if it was time for me to post because I post, it has to be like 2 hours, give or take, in between posts. That's just what they would like to do. And a post would come up. I'm like, oh, it has 3 likes. It must have just been posted. So I probably have a couple hours before I can post. It was posted like 2 hours ago. I was like, what's it didn't even come up for me. Like the person that interacts with it like a lot. And I don't know what's going on with Instagram, man, but there's some crazy things. Well,
There must be
anyways,
something messed up with the algorithm in a weird way where because you go on Instagram and you still see stuff, right?
yeah.
Like Instagram isn't necessarily busted, but
Mhm.
some stuff is for sure getting lost. So there must just be a bug in the code right now where like certain posts just get fully lost, which is
Yeah.
just horrible, especially since it's been going on for like a week now. But I posted a short last week and it didn't have that issue and it's doing fine. Um, but I can imagine if I mean, especially with mine, I spend 10, 15 hours on these edits, making it whatever.
Oh, the
And then
pain.
I post it and it has 10 likes. I would be like, ah,
Yeah.
ow, what? And then I know on TikTok, if you post a video and then it gets like messed up or whatever, which has happened to me on TikTok, and then you repost it later, it gets flagged by copy because you've already posted it
What?
once and then you get in trouble. So that happened to me on one of
That's
my videos.
disgusting.
Yeah, it was horrible. So luckily I guess Instagram doesn't do that, which is
Yeah.
a good thing. But
It yeah, it's been happening to me, but that was the point I was trying to get to is I put effort into that clip and then it wasn't getting like any like nothing.
traction.
It should at least be
Yeah.
more than 10. I'm not saying I'm like, bro, this should
Yeah.
blow up and take over the internet.
This is the best
Um,
video ever.
but then yesterday I put out that I was just out for like a run playing that 9-hole course in New York. I'm like, it's not anything special, and it ended up doing better somehow, and it's like over like 100 likes or something at this point. I was like, I don't understand this platform. I mean, you can do like
Yeah,
the things within your power to just put out what you like and what you think will do okay, but at the end of the day, you don't really know.
literally. Yeah. It is crazy that something like that
That's
could
the
happen.
best. That's the best word. I can talk about those Instagram problems that I've noticed if you want to get into that.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
let's hop into it, man. I like talking about that kind of stuff.
Ben, do you first want to get into your experience? Because I feel like this was one of the first moments that I noticed of it, or like we kind of collectively noticed, because you did after last week's episode, you kind of were forced to go out to hole one at Maple
Yeah.
Hill because you had the tattoo on your head, and that you posted it, and it was collabed with Trash Panda. So in theory, there should be plenty of eyes that are going to
Exactly.
be on this post.
Yeah,
And
if it
then, how much time went by? Like a half hour, or something like that,
was like an
before you
hour.
texted us. Okay, there you go. And how much interaction did I have?
It had maybe like 8 likes.
Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any
Yeah.
sense.
Well,
I
so
did.
Queen City Disc Golf said they posted a reel too, and it had like 10 views. And you told me another round posted. So it was something that day that was messing up where it was just not spreading. But yeah, I posted it, and if it was just like my account, like I would have been like, okay, maybe it's just like not. But since I was collabing with Trash Panda on a Trash Panda disc,
Yeah.
it was just like, it was like, this doesn't make sense, because like it should at least have more than 8 likes just off people just seeing, just like even mind numbingly scrolling, not even looking at the video and pressing like. So yeah, it was something with the algorithm where it just wasn't showing it. So then I texted you, and then I texted Jesse. I was like, bro, something's wrong. And then that's when they pointed me to Queen City Discs post where they were like, yeah, something's wrong with the Instagram algorithm. Like they had 10 views on a reel that they just posted. So I deleted mine. And then I posted it again like a few days later, and it was back to normal, all as well.
Yeah, I heard about the Queen City Discs one because, yeah, like you said, he had to delete it, and it was a post with Innova, and then the next day he posted it, and it was like over 4,000 at the time that I had seen it, and it's so yeah, something is up. I know Just from the Past has told me maybe like once or twice every year if something's weird will happen, he'll delete something. But in the last month or so, it's probably happened like 5 times because just absolutely nothing is happening, and I don't know what's up. But yeah, I'll go through the things that I have noticed. So number one, the first thing that I had noticed when I was doing the collab with Innova for the racer, over and over, I would be messing with the music levels, which is really important in order to like hear because I'm talking in it. And then Instagram automatically is just like, no, this is what you want, and it just blasts the music levels and like drowns you out completely, and you don't have an option to do it. And that was one that I had no idea what was going on because it's the first that I had experienced it, and it was kind of important. It's like my first collab with Innova, so I had to delete that. I posted it for the 4th time, and it worked because I put in my own music. I started using royalty-free music to like get around that because I'm like, I can't have this messed up in this moment and just look like an idiot. The second thing that I noticed is they removed a bunch of fonts, like on-screen fonts that you could use after they had just added them like 2 weeks ago, which I found really, really bizarre. Another thing was, so you guys know, like before you post, you can kind of choose like what the thumbnail is or whatever you want to call it for equivalent, and you could adjust like the grid so that when people go onto your account, they can it just better shows like what you're trying to portray. Those don't work right now. They like choose if they want to work or not, which is kind of an important piece if someone is like going through that happen to like see your account and be like, oh, like let me check this out, and so that's kind of messed up right now.
Yeah, I going off of that, the last one I posted, you can choose the thumbnail of the short you posted, and like Sajko's mentioning, on the real side of your account, it's just the full page. But on the grid side of your account, you have to slide up or down to choose which part of the square is there. So I did that. But like he's saying, it's not working right now. So sometimes I'll go on my account and it's just like the feet. It's my feet on this reel of this thumbnail that I picked. And then sometimes it's where I picked it, which is so weird and honestly really annoying because, a thumbnail is very important, mainly on, YouTube, but it's still important on Instagram. Like, if the thumbnail's cool or the picture's cool, people are going to click on that video or post or whatever specifically because they want to see that.
Yeah.
So
as annoying as it is, a thumbnail is just about half, even though one takes significantly less effort than the other.
Totally.
It just is what it is. And yeah, the last one we already touched on was the severely limited reach, which I don't know what the deal is with that.
Yeah. Severely limited reach. But going back to your text thing as well, I noticed recently, and it's gone away already, but I post a decent amount of stories because I don't always post on my actual account to the feed. And on the stories, when I was trying to do like put text on whatever picture I'm posting, I was having a ton of issues because typically if you pref a text, it's what just like you can always type in or whatever, and it just like saves it. But for some reason, every time, like a week ago, every time I was trying to post a story, it was resetting, and so I had to find the text that I always use on all my stories every time I was posting or like typing a new text. And that's kind of just a random thing, but I was like, what changed? Like, why doesn't it remember the text I was using before? Because it used to always remember. So I think something's going on at Instagram or Facebook or whatever that is just randomly tweaking everything. Some code bug. Maybe it's CrowdStrike. Who knows? Just remnants of CrowdStrike.
And listen, look, I definitely understand where someone could listen to this and be like, these sore Nancy boys all up in a tizzy about, like, I get it. I'm not really someone that's super into, all about like the algorithm and stuff like that. But at the same time, like Josh said earlier, you're putting all this time into something and you want people to be able to see it. And no matter what you think, if you're trying to do something, like I was mentioning, I'm trying to do something for Innova. I mean, it's kind of a reflection on you. If something isn't working out, I'm sure they are understanding, but at the same time, you want it to be good and to show like what your vision is for like the video that you make. So yeah, that's it.
Totally.
Ben, any thoughts? Okay.
I already gave my issue. I didn't really have any other issues.
That's
other than
fine.
that. You guys definitely post a lot more reels than me, so I didn't really notice anything other than the trash panda thing. How it just wasn't sharing it to the algorithm at all. It was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah. No, I think we're potentially moving on. So just kind of wrapping that up.
Yeah, wrap it up.
Boys, we haven't done an icebreaker in a long time. Do you want to do one or not?
Let's do one, dude.
So I have a couple in mind. One is not necessarily the most disc golf related, but I know, like I had mentioned to Josh before, I think eventually some of these questions are going to have to go somewhat outside of the realm of disc golf because eventually you're going to run out of things to talk about. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be like, dude, what shampoo is the, like something like that. So I am curious because I was talking about this with my buddy on the way up to New York. Could you name your top 5 favorite snacks? Like, it doesn't have to be like, bro, when you're out on the course, are you guys like big snack people or no?
I'm a pretty big snack person.
Okay.
My number
Ben?
one. Oh, sorry.
Yo, you are Jimmy Neutron brain blast deep in thought right now.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I'm a snack guy, but I'm also no, I'm not really a snack guy. But maybe on the course I can give you a little different answer. Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be 5. You could just give me like a couple. I had a few that came to mind, and I was like excited about sharing the answers with my buddy. So, I mean, maybe people would be like, bro, that's mine too. What the heck?
Yeah,
well, my number one snack is not necessarily by means of like, this is my favorite snack ever. It's more so just the frequent snack that I have. It's those little sleeves of peanut butter crackers. I have those all the time. Like, I'll probably have 1 or 2 of those a day for some reason.
I'm having deja vu. Did we talk about this before?
Yeah, this was already a question you asked us.
Was that just like a random question that I had before?
I don't know. But I don't know. It's 100% in an episode.
Dang.
You asked us what's our favorite snack.
I'm sorry, listeners. I can go with the other one then. Well, the other one I had was
snack first. Yeah, tell us yours because mine was just gonna be like beef jerky. So.
Double G craft jerky. Well, after saying that, beef jerky is actually one of my favorites. Mine are all like weirdly specific, aside from also pickles. Pickles bang.
Oh, I love pickles. Actually, yeah, that's my favorite snack of all time. There you go.
Bro, get the heck out of here.
Ben is one of those people that you look at and you're like, yeah, I bet he likes pickles.
That man eats pickles.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just pickled constantly, It's just like
I feel like I have the personality of someone that likes pickles, but I don't.
You're you're like a little
zany,
earthy, crunchy man. You're like you got granola vibes, like.
Yeah, I love granola.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, and I'll take pickle vibes, like a little strange, a little sour, a little weird, but at the end of the day, it'll always be there for you and satisfy you That was weird. I didn't
All
mean to
right.
say that.
All right.
It's not satisfying in
Anyways,
that way.
my next
as in,
snack.
like,
My next snack.
you'll enjoy that. You enjoy their presence, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
This one is lame. Cheese. I mean, the
I
Sackwoods
love
household. The
I like
Sackwoods
provolone.
household annihilates cheese. I mean, every single week. Yeah, just like
In your
blasting
bag,
through
though,
cheese.
that's a little odd. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you just throw an entire sweaty block of cheese in your bag, just chewing on it like a candy bar. No, it doesn't have to be on course. I'm just kind of going through the
just
last
top
two.
5 snacks in general. Got it.
Yeah, the last two. These ones are like a little bit more specific. Okay, Trader Joe's. They have these jerk spiced plantain chips. Just blow your nose clean off your face in the best way possible. Really good.
Say
Moving
it again,
on.
Trader Joe's what?
They are plantain chips.
Oh,
they have
okay.
like a jerk it spice.
Yeah, I love plantain chips, so I'm gonna have to try that.
My dog. After that, rosemary, sea salt, just like nuts. It could be like cashews or whatever. Also at Trader Joe's. Anyways, moving on. Do you want another?
boy.
Do you want another icebreaker, or is that good enough?
Sure. I mean, this episode's definitely a little, off.
We're waking up.
Yeah. We're. It's kind of like we'll talk about it a while, but like there's not really too many storylines, but yeah, not many too many storylines going on, I guess. So, I don't know.
Yeah, we say that, but we're also like, we're almost an hour in. That's this podcast. I'm always like, man, I'm gonna run out of things. Like, what can I come up with for this week? And then we have like 17 things left. Oh, shout out to, did you
Shout
see
out
that
Autumn
new
Wong.
that new Autumn Wong disc?
Yeah,
Who's
I saw her playing at
Adam
Wild.
Wong?
That's why I wanted to give that shout out. That was sick. Saw her name.
Completely.
I was like, hey, I know that person.
Yeah, I can't imagine that could be easy. I would be terrified playing a Pro Tour event. I don't even care what the course is. They'd all be terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, it's scary. I think I've finally gotten into the in MA1 at least, because then at each level you get to, it's a new set of nerves. But I think I finally gotten to the point of where I'm not really nervous when I'm playing. It's kind of like, okay, like commit to the shot, which is like where you want to be in disc golf. Like that's why I shot like decently well for me the other day, because at the end of the round I'm like, wait, I feel like I went for everything and didn't really care and wasn't nervous, when before I was always super nervous. Even in putting, I wasn't that nervous. The second day, I guess I was a little, but putting, I was just like, and I think the soft putt had to help with it, because I'm not blowing past the basket like I normally do, where I'm like, oh my goodness, if I miss this, I have a 30-footer. But yeah, I think as you move up in different things, like the nerve, you have to go through a whole new level of nerves all over again, like you had when you first got into MA2 and then first got into MA1, and then I can't even imagine what it'd be like on the Pro Tour.
Okay, so you said that you had a good putting day. Do you think of something when you have your good putting day? Like, what is the thing that you focus on when you're doing that?
Like
Go.
I said, my good putting day is because I was like just nice and soft, right at like a basketball, like a free throw. How it's just like.
So it's not a mechanical thing. It's just like a
yeah, no, it was
just, like,
literally
be
just
soft.
like like be soft intentionally, just like kind of place it into the basket, and that one thought made me not think about anything else other than aiming at a chain and putting it in, and I didn't think about the miss. I didn't think about the blow away. It's because if I missed, it was all. Dude, Jay Millie's about to say something about a roast. He's getting ready.
For listeners, Josh was basically, I mean, if the mic was any closer to his mouth, it would be inside his mouth.
He
at
just
that point.
slowly
I mean, he was so ready to,
He's like,
to jump.
and yeah, like I hit a few good, like 40 to 45 footers where it felt really good because it was full commitment and it was good pace. Even if I did miss, it was probably like only 10 feet away. So I think that was the biggest thing, putting soft, that helped me, because I've never really putted soft ever.
No, can confirm.
Yeah.
Josh, do you have
I
one?
was just gonna say Sajko, go play the clip of Ben saying that he has to putt a million miles at the basket or he sucks at putting from a different episode.
Yeah,
Dude,
no.
it's all
So
mental, man.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, and
It
I just
really, it
remember,
really is.
yeah, yeah, putting's all mental, but I felt like maybe I'm misremembering how
No,
it was
no, you,
worded or
you're
how
you're
you
right
phrased
because
it.
that's how like mental my putting's been because there has been times where like I have to commit, like actually commit, or else. So when I say putt soft, I think I was putting. I think at that time I was maybe putting too soft, where I was kind of like throwing it up, and it was like hyzering and like like it was basically like this by the
Oh,
time it got to the
just
chains.
roll away potential.
Yeah, so I think as I'm learning, but like I've definitely said that before, where like, cause I felt it like where if you can commit to a putt and go right at it, like obviously that's probably like the best way because but you gotta be like Gannon and make it pretty much every time. That that I'd say that's probably the best way. If you're not making it every time, I'd say maybe soften it up a little, giving some maybe leeway to like other variables like wind or like leaving it short, or because once you when you put it soft, there's like another variable. It's like leaving it. I guess maybe not another because then on the fast putt you're leaving it long. But I'm just saying like you could leave it short, but you could also leave it long now, as in like you could just front cage. Like I've never really front caged it until I'm putting soft like from 30 feet, and it looks like it's going in, and it's just like, oh, it doesn't get there. So I don't know. It's just my testimony.
Did you ever try putting with a putter that has like low glide or something like that? Do you guys remember when the Innova Animal came out like 2 or 3 years ago? I feel like that disc was pushed so insanely hard.
Has a thumb track though.
Yeah, it does.
It's a
But I
weird
remember going
putter.
to the store. No offense to Innova, but I just saw them all they like untouched, and it was really weird because it was like this thing that had a lot of push behind it, but it's like no one. It was like such an oddly specific market. It felt like that people were like, I can't throw 400 feet with this. I don't know if I want this.
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah, I
Anyways,
don't
this.
know
Maybe
much
that was
about
before my
that. No.
time.
Yeah, it might have been before me as well.
all right, all right. Josh, do you have a thing that you focus on, or are you just complete feel, just like boom, right in the basket?
Jamie jump putt.
Yeah, I just only make
What the heck?
putts, so I don't know. I don't really think about anything else. No, I'm kidding.
You are a good putter.
I was thinking about it. Yeah, I'm a fine putter. But I don't know. The cop out answer is my answer. Confidence is everything on the putting green. So something that's worked for me is from time to time, I'll just find like a simple thing that I think about that just drastically improves my putt in the like the span of like one practice session. So like
Hmm.
for example, the last time I went out and putted, I was kind of struggling, and then I was like, what's going on? And so I started thinking about putting a little bit more nose up, and it was just ching 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 ching. And so then that's just what I was focusing on for that like next little while, and I was cashing every putt. But then rewind a few weeks ago, and it was thinking about like pulling through like on a certain line, and like every time thinking about that, or and then I was making every putt when I was doing that, or like rewind even farther, it's a different tip that's like the only thing I'm focusing
Yeah,
on.
it's like me
And so I
with
think
my
I'm at
form.
the point where like I have a putt, like I have a putt that I know that works. And from time to time, my timing gets off, my confidence wanes, whatever. And if I just like try to analyze it, the solution that comes to me is usually just like maybe more of a placebo effect than
Yeah.
anything, where it's like, oh, I just need to like put it nose up, and then I start putting, and it might not even be nosed up, but I'm making my putts, And so my advice is just like try to figure out what's messed up, or like what you need to do, or what helps you make more putts, and then just think about that one thing rather than like, oh, like I got to put it in front of my face and then pull down and then have my whole routine, and like if everything's not perfect then I'm going to miss my putt. Like no.
Mhm.
But, you know, that's my advice, but I guess behind that is like put in the reps. Like you gotta put in the reps to be at that point, because for me, I have the solid base of like I've put up thousands upon thousands of putts, and now like it's ingrained in my head how I putt, how I want to putt, the putt I like to putt, all that, and now I have more confidence when I think about a certain tip or trick. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Confidence is key.
I laughed because when you were saying nose up, you said it as Norse, and it sounded like an Australian accent. That's the only reason that I laughed.
Yeah, dude.
Norse.
Voids just words just come out incorrectly for me
as
sometimes.
voids.
Yeah, voids.
My thing that when I focus on, so me as a putter, in the circle, I'm actually a pretty good in the circle putter. Circle, just like throw it up and like if it fades, cool. The thing that I focus on is, so mine really is just like weight transfer, like back and then forward, and then at the very end get the pop with like my wrist fingers. And the thing that I feel like it makes me the most accurate is when I pop at the very end of my weight transfer forward. So I like come back and then my arm comes back, and then when I'm going forward at the very end, like this is like the feel aspect of it, I guess, at that point when you feel like you're just about at the very end where you can't move forward anymore, where you're like not centered enough and it doesn't make sense, like you'd be falling over. That's like when I get the pop, and then it's just like absolute buckets. I don't know why, like 6 months ago, maybe more, something happened where that was like the thing that I would focus on and just bang chains. I mean, my misses are missing low, or if I'm farther away, I will put the putter, like I'll think it will fade more than it should, and it just kind of like zooms past right side, and that's really it. But yeah, that would be my tip, I suppose.
Interesting. What do you guys feel? How do you feel about the idea? In my head, I have a conception, or maybe a misconception, I'm not sure, that the more variables you can remove from a putt, the better it'll be. So, like, I look at Calvin, and I'm like, this guy obviously putts very well, but I think that he is, like, figuring it out. And maybe it's because we both have engineering brains, but, like, all of his weight is on his front foot. He doesn't use weight transfer at all in his putt. It is all in his arm and his wrist, and just whipping it. And so something I've done before is, if my putt is genuinely like tweaking, I will straddle putt, and I will use none of my legs, nothing except the flick of my wrist, to like try to get my timing back to where it needs to be. And I found a lot of success doing that. And so I've almost contemplating completely switching to a flick of the wrist putt only, just to remove the variable of like making sure that I transfer my weight and get the timing of my arm at the same time, blah, 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 blah. But if I just remove all of that and it's only in my wrist, then I feel like I'd be way more consistent. Like, do you think that that like holds true? Like, I think it does.
Here's the thing, Jay Millie. We have beef now. No, I'm just kidding. So I have the answer for you, and here it is.
Oh.
I was putting one day in a backyard, and I'm just putting, and this voice comes from a distance, and he's like, bro, you shouldn't like rock back and forth. I just go on my I'll put all my weight on my front foot to eliminate variables. And I look back, and then I had to look up, and it's Gannon Burr from the woods. No, obviously it wasn't like that. We were putting, and my putt was still bad then, and he was like, yeah, he's like, yeah, don't rock back and forth. Like, I just literally, he says he puts all his weight on to eliminate variables. Like, I think he does use his leg, but it's not like a rock. It's like he brings it down, and his legs are already like spring loaded back leg, and then he like pushes off but I think he also mostly uses like his arm. It's like kind of Joseph. So speaking of Joseph, I think that's his putt too. His putt is like kind of just
Joseph only uses his arm.
Yeah, so it's like and same with Matty O. It's just kind of like different strokes for different folks. I think putting. I think anyone can get good with anything that they got, but I think there's a few things that you got to do, which is why I think I've been such a bad putter because I've changed it so often that I haven't stuck to anything. And I think a part of that, you just need to like figure out what's comfortable and just stick with it, because eventually you will either have to just put more reps than anyone, but eventually you will get good or decent enough at putting if you just stick to kind of what you got.
Absolutely.
It's not like
I
form where it's like, if you're like throwing like this, obviously it's gonna be like you could probably get better, but it's gonna be like you might not be able to get as much distance as other people. But whereas putting form is kind of like, since you're so close, it's like you can really do whatever. Anyway, sorry, Sajko, go ahead.
I was before I heard James Proctor talk about his stroke, and he said that when he's like a little bit off, he will actually adjust his back leg. So maybe he'll step a little bit more on his back leg, or maybe like a little bit more forward or something like that. And I found that when I'm missing, like maybe my back leg isn't back enough, so maybe just like go back like a little bit more, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, my weight transfer is like working now. So maybe try that, because that was something for me that is helping me cash those putts. Not Hooli cash, unfortunately. I would like to putt with those at some point. I would like
the dimes. You got to putt with the dimes, not the cash.
Do you think you need your weight transfer, Sajko?
I have found so much success compared to what I had been doing previously that I don't think I would ever change it unless something completely broke and I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. I've been liking it because I don't have to think about my arm at all, except for like at the very end, like my like wrist, finger pop, whatever. People focus on different things. Who knows which one I'm actually doing? But to me, it's like a combo kind of both, because I like that my arm isn't really doing anything. Obviously, I'm not Gannon Burp, but this is just what's working for me. I don't have to like think about anything. I'm just like moving forward. So like the weight is going towards the basket, and then at that moment, just like as long as I get the pop clean, it just goes where I want it to go. So I like that. I'm sure there's pros and cons to all of them.
I don't think weight transfer is necessarily bad, but I would encourage you before next week's episode or whatever to like, I don't know if you have a practice or if you just put at the course, but you should try like, I don't know, weight on the front foot only and just using your arm and just see what's up. You might hate it, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts.
Keep an eye out for that next YouTube video.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be mentioned a little bit.
How long? Sorry, back to the another round video. Just because I just like comparing, because I've done it and I've done it with Joseph, so it's kind of like a cool transition. I did it and then I did it together with Joseph, and then Joseph did it. And I think it's like I said, a great idea. I think Joseph could be very successful with that kind of idea, because he's literally the ace king, and I'm surprised he didn't do it any earlier. I thought he was going to do it.
I'll be honest, Ben. When I was editing it, I didn't even think about how you had been doing this and then like went down with him, because at the very beginning of the video, he did mention, he's like, we did this before with Big Germ and no one hit it. But for some reason, my brain didn't like connect both of those worlds together.
Yeah. So, how long did it take you to edit that kind of? Like, how long was the raw footage? Because mine was like, my Charlotte one with Big Germ was like 4 hours. So I'm just curious, like the editing process behind that. And then on top of that, you had to add all that stuff to make it more interesting. Because
zany. Yeah, it's funny. I'm thinking to Bedanza, who as soon as that video went up, he asked me the same question. He's like, how much storage was that? And I believe it was 29 gigabytes is what I had. And he said, okay, that's what I usually have for my videos as well. And he's like, how long did it take? And I was like, oh, it took so much time. I mean, in total, it probably took me like 2 days to do.
Of like how many hours wise? Like 12 hours
easily like 20 hours, something like that.
Yeah, so that sounds about right. Yeah,
so it took me 20 hours. Dude, Bedanza hit me with this. It's not like some secret thing. He hit me with Oh, usually my videos will take me. He said like 25 minutes. Like a video like that would take him 25
Yeah,
minutes. I was
dude, the
like,
way he edits, it's
"Are
like
you AI?
he
Like that
does
doesn't make any
shortcuts. I've seen
sense."
him. He's been at my house, and it's just like, this is all you hear. Frick, I can't really. I'm gonna mess up something, but it's just like
Yeah, and
it's
he's doing
it's
great
like
with it.
it's just like he has all these shortcuts. He's very good at editing, and that's what I could try kind of tried studying like what he did and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But
that's
yeah,
cool.
he's very good at editing.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, it was tough with this one because, as I'm sure you know, Ben, you have to go through every single person's throw to see
Yeah,
like what is good and what isn't, and what you can use and what not. I mean, there was 30 people, give or take, that were there, and then between it was like 7 rounds, and then all of Joseph's throws and stuff like that. So it's yeah, it takes. I mean, that alone took hours to go through all that footage. But I did
yeah.
prefer that because, like I said, you have control about what you can do with everything at that point, which is nice.
Yeah, and I think it's very smart for Joseph. Joseph, if you're listening to this, very smart to bring you on because I think he's been lacking a huge side of YouTube, and I think that's always been like he's like crushed it on Instagram, but his YouTube was kind of like the ugly duckling, where it was kind of like he like posted every once in a while, but it wasn't anything like create. He told me himself he's focused on shorts, not really YouTube. But I think bringing you
Right.
on and if you could focus more on just editing you and him being more out there, I think that'd be another huge, not only like revenue for another round, but just like a huge just like brand asset for another round. To start doing more of that YouTube type thing. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
just if you're listening to this, Sacco's your guy for the Utes.
Yeah, I think that's we're figuring it out as we go, but that's kind of what it sounds like. Edit YouTube videos, and then from that, take the good moments, and then you can put those on YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. So that might be how I contribute moving forward, but we will
Something
see.
something that's interesting that I've heard a decent bit, and I'm not the best at this, but I think this is probably why, or part of the reason why Bodanza is so fast. But it's this saying that's called "kill your darlings." And
Hmm.
sometimes when you are filming or in the edit or whatever, there's just a clip, a moment that you're like, this has to go in. I have to include this somehow. I have to use this. And there are just some times where it doesn't flow, it doesn't fit, it's not needed for the story, whatever. And so the saying is kill your darlings. Like there are going to be situations where your favorite clip from an entire filmed video or whatever can't be used. And
Yeah.
that stinks, but like if you want to put out the best content, like sometimes that has to happen. And so I think something with Bodanza is like for me when I look at unedited video, I see a block of marble that needs to be chiseled into uh, not Michael,
Michelangelo.
David by Michelangelo,
Yeah.
That's very
and
poetic.
I'm like, yeah, so poetic, and it's like, okay, I have to be very careful about all the initial, hits of my thing to chisel out like exactly what I need and make sure it's perfect, but at the end of the day, like, yeah, there's probably one direct, like, perfect video you can make from the block of marble. But I think Bodanza understands and is better at killing his darlings, where it's like he knows, like, if he just starts down a path and makes the video, it's going to be a good video.
Hmm.
I get frozen by hitting the initial, like getting rid of things right off the bat. I think he literally scrubs through the footage. He's like, here, 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 include all these things, video. For me, it's like, oh, I could include this one, but is this one better? Like, does this forward the story more?
Yeah.
When probably at the end of the day, it's just like, oh, okay, the viewer is going to like either of these stories that I want to tell. I should just follow this path, trust my gut, and I'd save 15, 20 hours on my time because I killed the darling of one idea I had and just decided to commit to the other idea and not get frozen by trying to take that initial swing and just get rid of all of these things that I'm unwilling. Like now I think I've ruined or like messed up parts of videos because I've tried to force something into the video that didn't need to be there. And I just, in that situation, I should have just got rid of it and had the video flow differently. So,
But here's the thing.
Who
I feel
knows?
like you and Bonanza are different. I think you're like Mark Rober and he's like Casey Neistat, where you put more effort into your videos, where he's just filming like basically daily life, and it's just like chop, 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 chop. So I think there's pros and cons to both, and I think I think you maybe killing your darling maybe isn't the best idea. I understand if it made the video worse, but if it's like time wise, maybe like because of time, you're like, oh, I don't want to edit this. I feel like that's kind of the YouTuber you are, though. It's just like you do the super polished, well done, like, you know, assets, effects, and stuff like that with a storyline, and that's why people like watching you, the Ryan Train of disc golf.
That's not necessarily. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm not saying I want to go away from the style.
Oh, okay.
That I have.
You're just saying that's why he edits so fast.
Yeah, I'm saying I like the style I have. I like how much I painstakingly like ensure that every clip is what I want in the video and the story I tell is what aligns with what I want it. But there is a level to it where I force stuff sometimes, or I spend way too long trying to determine which route to take. And I think Bodanza is elite at this is the route I'm going to take. I know there's other options, but I'm just going to go down this route. And he makes really good videos because he's not as worried about messing up as I am, you know? And that's where the saying killing your dog, like that's where it comes from, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not saying I want to change my style. I just want to be better about trusting my gut and following through, and sometimes getting rid of clips that I really like because they don't further the story like they need to.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Bedanza used to be like that. I mean, I know he was a YouTuber previously before jumping into disc golf. Being someone like me, I'm very precious, and I also still feel like I have something to prove. So I really want to put in that extra time to make sure I'm like, okay, is this where I want it to be? Whereas him, I mean, you do anything for long enough. I mean, you just know exactly what you want to do, or at least I would imagine, like when you're far enough into anything. But yeah, that was a good little side conversation. Dude, how much time do we actually have left? I have one more bullet point, but I think we're like
We should probably talk about
almost at our
Idlewild
normal
point.
Oh yeah, never mind. Idlewild. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's not in the notes, so just completely. This was one that I had like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
just
well,
about,
Jay Millie, how much time do you? I mean, I'm fine to go, like, you know, but Jay Millie.
we could save it for another episode if need be.
Okay, yeah, maybe the next episode.
Let's save it.
Okay, let's get into Idlewild. So Idlewild. We're gonna recap it a little bit. I know we've been doing more storylines, but Owen Scoggins wins FPO pretty much. It wasn't like a landslide victory, but after round 2, she was up by a decent amount, where it was just like, okay, if Owen just plays her game, she's probably going to win. No crazy storylines from there other than congratulations, Owen, for pretty much doing her thing. But MPO, different story, because so I picked Isaac Robinson to win in my pop lock drop, which is on Stagger Sands. Go check it out if you'd like. And if I pick him to win, I get 25 points. So he's up by like 2 strokes on Joey Buckets, Joseph Anderson, who ended up winning the tournament. And I'm like, yes.
He's up 2 strokes going
on hole 12. Going into hole 13. And I'm like, yes. Like, let's go. Isaac got it in the bag. Hole 13, he takes a triple bogey, Isaac. And Joey takes a birdie. So it was a 4-stroke
swing.
I was like, no way. Now, Joey is my friend. Like, I've hung out with him personally, and we're actually having it on Stagger Stance today. So it's not like I didn't want him to win. But as soon as Isaac kind of was like out of it, I was like, okay, either Joey or Ezra. I was okay with winning because both of them I've hung out with, and I don't know. Anyways, are my friends. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like my actual friends.
So you're saying you didn't want the other guys to win, and
It's
you
pretty
hate
selfish.
Yeah, so I wanted Ezra or Joseph to win once Isaac kind of so Isaac went triple bogey, bogey, double bogey. And at that point it was like, okay, I just want him to finish top 5 cuz I get 10 points. And then at that point it was either his brother or Joey Buckets to win. Which I'm like I said, friends with both. So it was just like either or. It's hard. You can't choose when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just tough. But I wanted them to win. And it was so tight because Calvin, Eagles, hole 16, and Joey pars it to, I don't know, I think it was to either get Calvin one behind, I believe. So basically they were right on Joey's tail. If Joey messed up at all, it was game over. So we go into the 18th hole. Ezra finishes at 26 down. Joey is at 27 down, and Calvin is at 26 down. So if Joseph bogeys hole 18, it's going to a playoff. Pretty much guaranteed with Isaac. It could be with Calvin if Calvin birdies. And Joey just throws the most pure line down the middle. And at that point, it's like, okay, the game's over. And Joseph pretty much won. But the craziest part, and I'll give Isaac his flowers with an insane bounce back. So I said triple bogey, and then bogey on 14, and then double bogey on 15. Then he goes eagle on 16, birdie, birdie. So like, if that isn't mental fortitude, I don't know what is. Like I know he's probably bummed that he gave away he basically gave it away. He would have won. But you know, for him to bounce back from that is honestly round of applause, Isaac Robinson. But 18, Joey's upshot. He just has to par. He goes full gung-ho at the basket and almost throws it in from super far. I'd say like 200, 250 feet, I'd guess. I don't know the Funsie fact. And he hits front cage, which was like, would have been the most absurd ending to a win ever. But all in all,
the most absurd ending to
holy
a win
shot
was... Yeah. No, not the holy shot. Was when freaking Kale LaVisca walk-off aced that one tournament.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's true. Right here in Connecticut.
Yeah, that was in Connecticut. Yeah. Disc golf.
I mean, holy shot's probably better, but I guess that
he didn't win it. Yeah, it didn't win it. So.
But the walk-off ace by Kale LaVisca, in my opinion, is the craziest ending to any tournament.
Kale made that whole.
There'd be a big argument.
Short. That is a. I said Kale made that hole look short. I mean, that's not an easy. I mean, you got to like pump it to get that hyzer.
Yeah, that's
down. Or were you asking where it's at, Ben?
Well, so it was a walk of ace, meaning like he had the ace to win. That was.
He was behind. He was a stroke behind the guy.
So if he birdied, he tied.
If he birdied, he would be tied. I think the guy had thrown like a mid tee shot or something, or maybe they were either tied or he was a stroke behind, and then he aced, and it was just like over. Like the guy couldn't beat him.
Yeah,
you know, like so he won on an ace. It was just insane,
unreal.
And then, but yeah, Joey basically almost throws it in, and then he wins. Congratulations, Joey! His first Elite Series win. I mean,
his first win. On the Pro Tour.
Yeah, that's what I just... Yeah. Elite Series.
You said Elite Series, but like...
Well,
I don't know, do you have to classify it like that?
Yeah, because any Pro Tour win now is an Elite Series win, I guess. Maybe in Silver,
this just comes from like us, like the Silver events, and we no longer have those, but
in Europe they are, so maybe that considers a Disc Golf Pro Tour win. Anyways, his first... I say Elite Series because just so you can get like the merit of it. It's like the top of the top. It's like the
Yeah,
PGA
true.
Tour. It's like it's the creme de la creme, the biggest event you ever want to win in your life. There's majors and stuff like that, but I'm saying like this is like everyone wants to win an Elite Series. So Joey wins it in. For our topic, let's just discuss Joey Buckets before we head out. I feel like we saw this coming. Oddly enough, he finished decently. He wasn't really well known last
Well,
year.
he's been playing mid the last few weeks, though.
But I'm saying like
Yeah, kind of.
he
I mean, he didn't make the cut at Ledgestone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's, dude, I can only imagine Eureka Temp. Like, the OB on that course must be just eating people alive.
But I'm just saying, like, he was like 9th at chess.com, 6th at Champions Cup, 4th at Dynamic Discs, 2nd at
we
Swedish
for sure
Open,
saw it
4th
coming.
at like and then last year at USGC, I'm pretty sure he finished like he finished 12th. He wasn't really as well known last year, but this year he basically at chess.com he made a splash. I'm pretty sure he was on like lead card a few times, or at least Chase.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, and then he finished 12th at Open Austin, and you realize that. And it's like, oh, who is this guy? And he seemingly came out of nowhere, but also him coming out of nowhere, this win doesn't surprise me, if that makes sense. So I guess that's my question to y'all. Like, does this win surprise you, or was it like, okay, like, yeah, he's shown he could win?
I could tell you exactly how I felt because I got home yesterday, and we got home a little bit later, and I went on Instagram, and that had come up, and I saw it. So, like, makes sense. I didn't question it at all. I'm not like, whoa, that's crazy. I was like, that makes sense to me.
It wasn't like the Parker Welk win. You know, he's been, like Joseph Anderson's been there before.
He's been close.
You know, we've seen him on lead card 5-10 times this year. I don't know, like an insane amount of times. Yeah. It was just like, it was not a question of if, it was a question of when, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just love, he's so different how he plays. It's so different. Like his throws in form, I feel like the way he throws,
utilitarian.
It's not like he doesn't have like a huge, like, he's not super powerful. It's just like finesse. It's just like everything. He's not really like reaching back fully. He's kind of just like, it's just like a swoop. It's like, and it's so smooth. And I just love that, like, a guy like him can win on the Pro Tour and finish well. That you don't have to be this huge bomber. You just, if you're hitting your shots and flying the lines, like, I think that's always super interesting. It's like he's like another, like, I guess Isaac Robinson is in that category too, where it's just like it never looks like he's throwing hard. Everything is just coming out his hand, just super like soft and exquisite, and it just flies pretty much perfectly.
That's hilarious. Just coming out of his hand, exquisite.
Yeah, and coolest part is it was the 8th unique MPO winner. I'm not sure FPO, but I know an MPO. It was the 8th unique winner in 8 years. So there's been no repeat winners at Idlewild. Since it's been an Elite Series, I believe that's the stat. But at least in the last 8 years, it was like, because James Conrad, Kevin Jones, Kyle Klein, Isaac Robinson, and there's probably a few more. But now Joey's
all took it down at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's people like to crap on Idlewild. It feels like they keep saying that the Pro Tour has grown past it, but it feels somewhat similar to me as like the Beast in Texas. Like, it just always makes for exciting finishes and good things going on, and people in contention that normally you aren't always seeing.
You gotta shoot well. I mean, Joey went like 10, 9, 10. I'm pretty sure something like crazy like that.
Yeah, I would take that over. Of course, no offense. I'd take that over like DDO any day.
Yeah, because it's like you have to birdie, but the birdies are fair, but anything can go wrong at any moment. I mean, we saw it with Isaac Robinson. He was basically cruising. It was basically like, okay, Isaac's has fuels left. He's probably gonna win this, but it just hit, and it hits hard.
I think it's a good tournament because it was close, but not like there was 10 people right there. There was 2 or 3. And I think that's a good distribution, you know, and if you drop 15 spots on the podium, or like 15th place is like a 10 stroke differential. Like I think that's the kind of tournament I want to watch, where it's like, you know, close, but not super close.
Yeah.
It's more fun.
Great storylines.
As a viewer.
Ben, I also want to give you kudos because I think that was your best tournament explanation you've done yet on the podcast. You were explaining it, and I was like, because I did not see it, and I could imagine everything, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, kudos to you.
Yeah, thank you. I think when we first started, I was doing more like stats based recap, which like shout out Anderson, always shouting him out. I think I like this way of just kind of storylines and what's going on, rather than explaining to everyone like the analytical side and stuff like that. So
we only get better.
It was, yeah, and I watched it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was super awesome event. And shout out Joey. If you want to go hear the interview, I'll be interviewing yesterday. I already interviewed when this comes out. On Staggered Stance.
Yeah. Boys, is that the end of an episode?
Yeah, I think so. Jay Millie's got to go back to 3D modeling for his
engineer things.
Yeah, he's got to go back to it. So everyone let everyone know that you love Jay Millie, that he takes time out of his busy day to record this. So comment below.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me know that you love me by buying my merch and watching my videos.
Yes.
Please. Yeah, guys. Go hit up Armory. I'll do it for him. Go hit up Armory. If there's anything left, shirt, hat. There were 2 colorways for the hat. Were there 2 colorways for the shirt? I don't remember.
No.
Okay.
Dark olive. That looks gray on camera for some reason.
If you enjoy this podcast, you enjoy Jay Millie, if there's any way that you can support him, it's this. Go do that. Grateful to have him with us. And if you're grateful, pick it up.
Do it.
Yeah.
Clutch. You boys clutch. Thank you, Funsie fam.
Yeah. All day, baby.
Wait,
all right,
I just realized this
everyone.
is like Jay Millie's logo.
What? Well, the tongue isn't out, I don't think.
Well, it's because
wait, is it?
It doesn't show the bottom.
I think it's just like smiling.
Yeah, the tongue isn't out.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm saying he doesn't show the bottom teeth, so I'm trying to like, how does it? Like that?
Sure.
Okay. Anyways,
listeners love that. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the great stuff. That also helps us. Shows YouTube, a big important YouTube man. Like, oh, people care about this. We appreciate it. Until next time, Funsie is gone. What the crud?
Funsie.